Greetings, War Thunderers. This is Longshot with you again. In this video I want to expand a bit more on one of the defensive maneuvers that I touched on in my previous video on defensive maneuvers in Arcade. And that video is now linked on the screen if you have annotations turned on. In that video at the very end I looked at guns defense, which is basically denying your opponent a gun solution, but I was very brief in my coverage of it. And after having recorded this footage I thought this would be ideal to show in more depth what it is that I meant. Now in this particular battle, myself and Sechu I was flying with have met two planes at high altitude. There's the Bf-109F, and I'm currently performing a low yo-yo underneath to try and come back up and attack, and squatted with him is a P-36G. Now unfortunately I'm missing all of my shots here, and you'll see why that's unfortunate in just a moment. These two are working together and they're taking their turns to play a bit of drag and bag. I hung around in the dogfight here, even though the P-400 is not the greatest plane for dogfighting with, because firstly I'm squatted up with a guy who's a very capable pilot, and there's another friendly, as you can see there, also in the mix with us, so we had the enemy outnumbered and I felt the odds were in our favour. Here this guy is being drawn to Sech, and I'm trying my best to nail him and missing my shots, and the P-36 is following me, and so on and so forth. However, they reached a point where Sech was forced to extend away, as you can see there, and because he saw an incoming 190 of which he warned me, and the other friendly was unfortunately caught out and set alight in the Ki-61. And as you can see, both of those guys in the squad are now targeting me, and there's the friendly being set alight, probably by the incoming 190. So at that point I decided I needed to dive out. The odds were no longer in my favour, and I'm diving with what is actually a snap roll. You can use a snap roll in a dive. It makes you an extremely hard target to shoot at if someone is following you down out of a dive, but it is at the cost of building up a huge amount of dive speed. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to outrun either of those planes if they followed me in a dive. And as you can see, the P-36G is, the 109 probably is not. Okay, I'm pulling a hard turn because he was coming in quite fast. I want to try and make him overshoot, and then that didn't happen, so I'm continuing the dive. And now as you can see, he's very close to me. Because he's so close, I am braking up hard, and then rolling over into a snap roll, again trying to force an overshoot, which he did, but he's pulled straight up. I can't follow. I want to avoid getting into a turn fight with him because the P-36 is just such a superior turn fighter to the P-400. This is all about survival. Whenever he gets close, again I'm pulling up into a hard brake and rolling. Now I'm into a rudder turn, which I'm going to try and turn into a little bit of a climbing spiral. Basically I'm just trying to deny him a shot at getting guns on me. There he is, he's overshot, and now there's friendlies around. Because there's friendlies around on him, I'm going to retract my flaps and keep running some more. But this guy is very dogged. He will not give up the chase. No matter if other friendlies target him. I don't know, maybe he's a subscriber and just wanted my name in his record book as having shot me down. Who can tell? Once again he's quite close. I'm running back towards our spawn. As you can see, I was just jigging gently from side to side, just to make it very hard for him to get a consistent gun solution. Once again I was forced into a brake. Now I'm cutting my engine and pulling up again to make him overshoot, and now there's more friendlies involved. And it's simply a question now of keeping out of his guns until there we are. They finished him off for me. And when that happens, make sure to thank people. It's always good manners. And because of the time he took chasing me, he was out of the battle for all of that time. By the way, he kept me out as well, but now I'm back in territory where there are incoming bombers and I can start taking them on, whereas he has to respawn in a brand new plane. Now I did sustain some damage, although I've got black elevators, it seems to be performing quite well. The most critical was of course the pink engine, which quickly turned black and unfortunately because I was too aggressive I didn't have time to get back to base and get myself repaired. But when someone comes after me that persistently, even though if I've had to respawn a new plane, I'm not going to forget the compliment, and I made sure when I had an opportunity to repay it in like kind. So just to summarise what I've covered in this video. Guns defence is basically about buying yourself time and staying alive, and to do that it's about denying the enemy a clear shot at you. It's really that simple, and in this video I demonstrated using a snap roll in a dive and then simple, very smooth, subtle, evasive actions at ground level while the enemy was on my 6, and when they got too close, pulling up into hard brakes and trying to force overshoots. And by the way, I really do like the US Marine Corps Corsair. It's a nice plane to fly right now. Anyway, that's all I have for you in this one. I hope you find it interesting. Cheers.